guys are known for solving crazy problems and doing tools that other people can't.
It's about taking pride in the environment. If you take pride in the environment, you're going to take pride in the product that you're producing too.
Everything's about culture, right? People build culture, and then leadership has to give, the people an amazing place to thrive, right? And be happy to come to work, and that pays off in productivity.
You want them to feel good about where they're working at and what they're able to contribute to.
So once we got that piece of paper in our hand, we are making it.
So a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, it's not that bad though. We work good on pressure.
Oh man, we're in Franklin, Tennessee, visiting Horn, checking out manufacturing on the highest level, making American-made tools right here for you guys out there. Let's go check these guys out.
A little bit of history of how Horn USA got started. So we were established in the U.S. in 1997. In 2001, we began production here in Franklin, Tennessee, because at that time, Lothar Horn recognized the need for us to be able to service our customers in the U.S. better. We needed to be able to have a closer connection and be able to produce inserts here locally in the U.S. You'll be able to see as we step out into the production floor that we have, this was really built for a 20-year plan, and we have a lot of room for expansion here for us to be able to expand in the U.S. So here we are stepping out on the production floor. We do have 43 grinders here now, and you can see with the existing space here that we have tremendous amount of room for future growth here in the U.S.
Beautiful floor. I love walking into a clean environment.
Yeah, it creates a good environment, not just for our guests coming in, but also our employees. It really sets the tone for the type of environment that we want to have here and the culture that we want to have.
Awesome. I remember going through Horn in Germany, and the whole place was just immaculate. Even going into the cafeteria and just all the yellow seats and everything, so perfect, man.
It's about taking pride in the environment. If you take pride in the environment, you're going to take pride in the product that you're producing too.
People build culture, and then leadership has to give, the people an amazing place to thrive, right? And be happy to come to work, and that pays off in productivity.
You want them to feel good about where they're working at and what they're able to contribute to. Currently in our production, so one of the things you'll notice here is the green line process that we currently have, where we're able to produce items extremely fast. We're going from approval drawing to out the door in 5 days. So we do have some visual notifications for our guys. So you'll see green line, tags, production sheets, you'll see buckets throughout the facility. Just trying to ingrain that speed within our culture, because that's really the niche that we want to be able to add. And the service that we're able to bring to the American industry is that speed. As we come to this area here, this is where we have our newest machines that we have. These are specialized machines that we have cooperated with them, told them our specifications that we need, and they've been able to produce machines specifically for how we're grinding our inserts.
Chuck Norris up there. You guys are kicking ass on the machines, right?
Yeah, so that's a visual indicator that our guys have. Chuck Norris being green is machine's good to go. It's able to run.
That's awesome.
If they're in setup or there's some other kind of issue, just a quick, just flip him over and he's red.
Oh, that's so cool. So I can see all the machines are actually running right now as we're walking past. So
they are.
Pretty much how many hours per week?
So right now we run 2 shifts. We're currently in the process of switching over to 3 shifts here in the next couple of months.
Very cool.
So not only expanding our capacity, but we're also expanding our production hours too. A lot of potential growth that's available here in the U.S., and we want to be able to capitalize on that and really make as much here as we can in the U.S. That's really the value that we're able to bring to the American industry, is producing things locally, collaborating with them, collaborating with our customers, and providing them solutions fast.
And it's the customer wants it right now, right? That's the hot thing. There's so many new industries, especially with AI coming up, and retooling and new tools coming out.
Yeah.
So they're basically, the demand must be crazy right now.
And that's changed so much over the past few years.
Yeah.
The speed that our customers demand. It used to be if you were delivering something in 1 week, you were a hero, you're pulling a customer out of the bind. Now that's kind of the expectation of what really the industry is demanding from us as a supplier. So we have a lot of employees that have been here for a very long time, and Courtney's one of those. So he's been a big part of us being able to expand within our production here.
Awesome. So you're in charge of like all the production right now, supervising everyone.
Yeah, pretty much from beginning to the end. So once the drawing is created, we talk to the tech department to make sure it's something we can do here, all the way to after it gets coated. So
Very cool.
Every process is involved. I'm involved.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you know, you guys are known for solving crazy problems and doing tools that other people can't, and then delivering tools in like within 5 days,
Record
right?
time,
From design to actually reaching, like, is it 5 days to ship or to their door?
Once we get it for grinding, it's 5 days.
Okay.
So once we got that piece of paper in our hand, we are making it.
So a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's not that bad though. We're good on pressure.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. But as it gets busier and you got more customers, then you gotta like react to that demand too, right?
Yeah, so right now we've hired probably almost 10 new people.
Okay.
So we've been getting a lot of young kids straight out of technical school.
Very cool.
So we're getting them trained up so we can keep on growing.
You got to figure out that training quickly too,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
You don't have time to like sometimes do the 2, 3, 4 year
We don't.
apprenticeship.
No,
you need to get people running. What do you guys got going on?
So we do our own internal training. We brand it as Horn Academy, based on, I think you've seen in Germany, they bring students in. So we're on the base level of that. We're not quite as big, obviously, but we'll start bringing in students from the trade school, kind of like a finishing school. Teach them how to run a machine without your cell phone in your hand and crashing things, and how to be conscientious about the owner of the machine shop's money. Don't just throw tools away, like figure out, put them aside. I've only run 10 parts on this. Just the basics of machining, and then how to use our tools specifically. I like your program. I think it's laid out really well.
When I started, I actually used your 3-axis Mill Academy to learn. I'm self-taught for it, and that's how I learned how to run the machines that we were buying. So the program with the Swiss Academy is great. I think more parts, because that's what really helped us. It started with a basic part in the Mill Academy and worked up to a complex part with that ISO grid in there. So something like that for Swiss, something where it starts out with like a basic part and then gets more and more.
And then going to different materials too.
Different materials,
Right.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. It's the ingredients to the cookbook, so
Feeds and speeds.
speeds and speeds.
Doing the original construction, we went ahead and constructed the still here, as well as other lines over there, and installed the infrastructure, knowing that expansion was coming, so that way, when that time was right, we had the ability to just come in and basically plug machines up. All of the coolant that you see out there on the machine floor, so that's coming back through here, being recycled and reused. And this is a very important part of our manufacturing process and the way that our machines operate and the tolerances that we're able to hold. All of this designed by Horn engineers. So the coolant comes back through here, it gets filtered out. It's back flushed every morning. All the excess carbide and the waste ends up down on the end. So all recycled, going back to the industry again, and then back out to the machine floor to be utilized again.
We're outside on the production floor, and it's just spotless. And we're talking about culture and people and machines and doing everything right. But I mean, even in here where you're filtering out all the coolant, it is spotless. It's beautiful. And a lot of people don't really think about that. You can have all the great machines, you could have like all of it, but if your employees are getting, rancid coolant or like just garbage and they're just bathing in it on a daily basis, it's not good for their health, it's not good for them. And that even changes attitudes and stuff also. So you guys, I mean, a testament to Horn, because this is amazing. This is one of the nicest, cleanest facilities for filtering coolant that I've ever seen. So very good.
Even goes down to the lighting that we have in production. So the lights that we have in our production were custom ordered. The lumens to be as close to daylight, natural daylight as possible. So that way the employees just see overall environment.
You feel comfortable.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, very cool. One of the cool things about Horn is that they have an entire floor dedicated to sales and service. This team is so efficient. They will actually talk to you, formulate a plan, design a tool, and manufacture the tool and get the tool to you within 5 business days.
So within our process that we have, so the way that things start is, customer calls our tech and design team, working with them to design a custom tool specifically for them, goes through our production process, and then it ends up here in our warehouse as well. Within our warehouse, we do have an automated storage system, trying to use automation as much as possible to make our people more efficient. Before we had this process, we had 4 or 5 people that were running through list of cabinets, shelves, picking orders. And with this system, we currently have just one person that's able to do all our picks, putaways on a daily basis. That are currently in the process. We have plans of replacing some of these older machines with some of our newer Generation 2 machines that we currently have. One of the benefits of these machines is them being able to hold extremely tight tolerances for long periods of time, which enables us to really do lights out production. Now we step into our coating area. So this is a very important process within our manufacturing process. It's a recently new installation for us, so we started internal coating in 2023 with Semicon high PEMS vessels. Enables us to be able to manufacture very fast here. That's what makes Greenline possible for us, but it also allows us to introduce some of our proprietary coatings within the U.S. market that we've developed.
I don't know a lot about coating, but I see the green light, so
Yep.
Or you have a bunch of tools in there getting coated right now?
Yes, so this one here, this one's in operation right now, currently coating, and this one here is in the process of being set up. Our coating process is divided up into 3 stages. So the far end, we do have a blasting room where the inserts, when they come from our manufacturing process, they get blasted to remove any kind of contamination from the carbide. After it gets blasted, it then goes into a almost like a dishwasher, where it actually washes the inserts off, removes any of that excess blasting media. Then it goes through a demagnification device, because throughout that blasting process, the carbide can't actually get magnetized. So it goes through a demagnetizer to make sure that anything that's there is released. After that, they fixture it, and then it goes to the coating vessels. You'll see everybody in here is wearing gloves too. So the cleanliness of the carbide before it goes into that coating process is very important. Any kind of contaminations on the carbide, any oil from fingers, anything like that will cause that coating not to adhere to the insert.
Like for me, it's super humbling because I go all over the world, you know, and I meet all these machinists, and it's like your family, and then I see them all using the curriculum and stuff, which is really cool. And the only reason I can do it is because of the partnerships, you know, like the partnership with Horn and stuff. So we create great partnerships. We bring value to the partners to bring awareness to their companies, and it just makes manufacturing greater, you know. So thank you, you know, for the support and all that. And yeah, nice to meet you guys, man. If you'd like to learn more about Swiss machining or even how to program Swiss machines, simply go to titansofcnc.com and go into our Swiss Academy. We have free education for everyone.